Welcome to A Few Minutes with the CEO. My name is Al O'Grady, and for the next few minutes, we'll be talking to the President and CEO of CapEx Ventures, Mr. Brett Matich. CapEx Ventures is a Canadian-based resource company focusing its attention on exploring and developing iron ore projects in the Labrador Trough near Schefferville, Quebec. Its properties cover an area over 100,000 hectares, and it's also close to processing plants for increased efficiencies. Now, the date of today's recording is Thursday, November 24th. Yesterday, the 23rd, the company came out with a very interesting press release and its latest drill results. We'll be talking more about that in just a second. CapEx Ventures trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol CEV. Mr. Matich, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, Brett, let's jump right into this. As I said in my introduction, a press release yesterday with the latest drill results. Brett, walk us through this. What are the highlights? And more importantly, how is this going to be affecting the company and its shareholders?
Yesterday's drill results, probably the highlights are the grade, which we call Davis test tube weight recovery grades, which are extremely high, and also adding more drill holes to the potential of this deposit.
So what was your overall reaction to those results, Brett? I mean, was this something that you expected all along? Was it a quiet confidence? Were you surprised? What was your reaction?
Well, with magnetite, we get a prerequisite of what we're going to see. We can visually get an idea of what the results are going to be, and we can see the extent of the mineralisation. And what's a standout with this deposit? It's shallow, near surface, but the thickness is just amazing. You're talking thicknesses up to 260 metres and consistently over 100 metres thick.
Okay, so $64,000 question. Where do you go from here?
Where we go from here is with the drill holes that we have done, extremely encouraging. For iron ore, you don't need a lot of drill holes. They can be extremely wide spacing to get an idea of the potential of a resource, of a deposit. So moving forward, we would follow up on the drill holes that were completed. What is attractive to this deposit is it is shallow, near surface. It is expansive. It's over an area now of 16 square kilometres. The thickness of the ore body ranges from around 100 metres up to 250 metres, which is extremely thick. And we are talking a potential deposit that not only would be matching the deposits in the region, but could be larger. And the second bonus is the grades of this deposit are higher than the other recognised huge deposits in the Labrador Trough. And the concentrate grade is we're very pleased of being extremely high as well.
Brett, we've talked a little bit about the immediate future, the present. Let's take a look at the past. Maybe someone that's new to your story. Give us some background on the project and the area in question.
This area, where the actual area is, it's surrounded by two of the largest magnetite deposits in the Labrador Trough. And the steelmakers are attracted to that Labrador Trough because the resources or the iron ore deposits are so large. Difference being with this particular area, it never had a drill hole because from surface it gave indications from the magnetics and from the shallow overburden that the deposit would not be as extensive, but it was simply from the drilling of the deposit and continual drilling that we found that the deposit itself was continuous, whether being a magnetic high or a magnetic low. So it's something where it hasn't been drilled before, and that was simply from the indications from surface. And I suppose it's the old-fashioned thing that at the end of the day, you've got to put drill holes in.
Brett, how does this project compare to other deposits, not only in Canada, but around the world as well?
In comparison for what we see for the potential sizes of deposit, this particular deposit compares with not only large magnetite deposits in Canada, but also large magnetite deposits around the world. It is also in situ, so which means you're talking the deposit it's linked together. You haven't got a number of deposits spread over a wide area. So comparison on size, comparison on grade, it compares very, very highly with other magnetite deposits in the world.
Brett, the stock price in the company, it's had a nice run up in the last month or so from a low of about 31 cents in early October. It was just over $1.20 just a day or so ago. If there are sharks circling, maybe for a possible takeover of the company, would you be willing to take the necessary precautions? I'm thinking a poison pill. Your thoughts on that?
And yes, that's what we have done. I mean, there was a couple of days ago we did an announcement on a poison pill. It's to protect the value of shareholders. We believe that the share price around these levels will appreciate immensely in the near future. So that's why we put it in there. Other reason we put it in there, we have had interest from companies all over the world. So it's just one of those things where we feel we're probably a little bit vulnerable at this stage, so that's why we put the poison pill out.
You know, Brett, gold seems to be getting all the attention. You don't hear too much about iron ore projects. I don't know, maybe gold sounds a little sexy. I don't know if you want to describe gold as sexy or not, but you know, you don't hear about iron ore that often. Do you like staying under the radar, you know, maybe having one of the best kept secrets, or do you think that's going to be changing very, very quickly?
I think that's going to change and has been changing, and with my background in Australia, iron ore is well heard of. And one of the very, very few commodities that Canada is lagging is iron ore. But Canada is catching, and I think you're going to find the exposure and the understanding of iron ore in Canada is going to improve immensely.
Let's talk about the demand for iron ore. Iron ore, of course, very important in terms of steel. China, amazing growth in construction as it's building its country. And of course, it has a great demand for steel. Therefore, is it not going to be having a great demand for your product as well?
Yeah, absolutely. But also in a magnetite deposit produces a very, very high-grade concentrate. And that high-grade concentrate is always in demand, whether the demand is low or high. And the other point is China have very, very low-grade iron ore mines, and they have a huge appetite for the high-grade magnetite so they can mix it with their low-grade material.
Brett, I've literally talked to hundreds of different presidents and CEOs of TSX venture companies. What is it about your company that sets it apart from the crowd?
Well, first of all, what sets us apart is the deposit itself. I mean, it's a new discovery. It's huge. The management of the company, I come from Australia, and I've come and managed iron ore and production companies. We also got finance management. So we've got the management on the board here that can bring this deposit to the next level. And the other thing, the big advantage the company has got is it is undervalued. As I said, with iron ore, you don't need a lot of drill holes to actually see where you're heading. So moving forward, I think there's a huge upside for the shareholders of the company.
Brett, that's it as far as the formal questions are concerned. As always, my guest gets the last word. Any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to add right now?
Look, all I'd like to add is the share price has gone up in recent times as the market is slowly understanding what we've got, and I think that's going to continue on. And I'm very confident not only the Canadian market and the world market's going to hear a lot about this deposit. Okay.
On that note, Brett, I want to thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us about CapX Ventures.
Thank you.
And CapX Ventures trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol CEV. And you've been listening to Mr. Brett Matich, President and CEO of CapX Ventures, on A Few Minutes with the CEO, produced by RBL Communications. I'm Al O'Grady. Thanks very much for joining us.